It's well known Jesus was crucified, but do you know how cruel and twisted this process was? These were the last 6 hours of Jesus' life. Dressed in sackcloth, chained, he limped to the execution ground. His hands were bound to a stake as soldiers carefully selected whips. The thinner the whip, the more painful. The soldiers grinned maliciously as the commander gave the order. Jesus could only stand and endure the torment, but this was just the beginning. His mother watched helplessly, unable to comprehend her son's inner anguish. Each lash caused Jesus excruciating pain, but his strong will made him straighten his back repeatedly. The soldiers' beating soon covered his body in bloody wounds. Jesus remained silent, gritting his teeth, but this wasn't the end. A soldier whipped his thighs, forcing Jesus to his knees. They didn't stop, instead grabbing whips with iron nails. Such sharp instruments could pierce wood, let alone human flesh. Each lash tore Jesus' skin. His cries of agony and the sound of flesh tearing conveyed utter despair. The more Jesus suffered, the more gleeful the soldiers became. His body was soon covered in wounds, no intact skin remaining. As the soldiers tired, Jesus gasped for breath. The commander then ordered him to be turned over for more lashes. The soldiers unfastened one hand, turned Jesus face up, and began whipping him again brutally. This torture continued for 2 hours, blood soaking the ground beneath him. Then the soldiers dragged Jesus into prison, took out a crown made of thorny vines, forcefully pressed it onto his head, piercing his scalp with the thorns, before taking him outside again. Though battered, Jesus was forced to carry the heavy cross to Golgotha, outside Jerusalem. The cross weighed him down. Soldiers whipped him, and Jews hurled insults. He stumbled along, driven like an animal to slaughter. He fell countless times, enduring endless beatings on this journey. Believers witnessed this tragic scene, helplessly weeping and praying. But unexpectedly, this angered the soldiers even more, who took up their whips, lashing out with increasing ferocity. The heavy cross and relentless torture left Jesus without strength to stand. A believer, unable to watch, covered his daughter's eyes to leave, but soldiers noticed. They ordered him to help Jesus carry the cross. This path, now called Via Dolorosa, still exists in Jerusalem today. After hours of struggle, they reached the execution site where the real torment began. Crucify him! Soldiers stripped Jesus, tied him to the cross, and nailed his hands with iron spikes. What's that sound? That's what I wanted! Nail me! As they nailed the other hand, Jesus' arm couldn't reach the pre-drilled hole, so they tied a rope to his arm and forcefully pulled, stretching it to the nail hole's position. Leave me! Leave me! I'm dying! Nail! I'm dying! Each hammer blow seemed to pierce his mother's heart, her tears long since dried. After nailing his hands, they fixed a wooden block to Jesus' legs, then nailed his feet to it. As the hammer fell repeatedly, blood flowed upwards ceaselessly. Despite enduring torment like 1,000 cuts, Jesus prayed for the Father to forgive these ignorant people. After nailing, soldiers flipped the cross, causing Jesus unbearable agony. The soldier bent the nails on the back, then turned the cross over, nailed a sign labeling him a criminal above, then stood and lifted the cross, pulling the ropes forcefully, raising Jesus to Jerusalem's highest peak. 2 thieves were also crucified. One mocked, "You can't save yourself. How can you save others? Show us proof of your foolish faith." This caused many Jews to laugh heartily. But suddenly, a crow flew from the sky, directly pecking the mockers' eyes. Jesus continued praying for these people, as his blood flowed into the earth. The sky darkened with thunder and lightning, amazing all. The Jews scattered, as if God truly saw their suffering. I really saw it. Heaven above, heaven above, heaven above.